Okay, so let me start the recording again. Okay, class, let's take a look. Do a little bit recapitulations. Okay, class, we're in the chapter 4, stage 1, explaining the differences in the two types of people who undertake this path. Then in stage 2, the elements make up the path is the Four Noble Truths and dependent origination. Class, just take note that Four Noble Truths will be brought up again today. Then in stage 3 is defining the noble truth, the path to cessation. This is about the three training and noble eightfold path. So class, today will be in the noble eightfold path again. So I think the scope we are going to cover might be still in the right view only, because for right view it is quite big, the area. Right understanding is a right view, it's the same. Okay. So let's take a look in our previous lesson. What have we go through? Okay, well, previous lesson, the explanation is quite a lot. Okay, it's number 96, the verse number 96. Such was taught by the Buddha. Dependent origination from the perspective of the middle way is not attached to the view of either existence, non-existence. One can be liberated with such right understanding, meaning to say that in the previous lessons, the right understanding is more on the dependent origination. Okay, then we have emphasized either existence or non-existence, meaning to say that by having the dependent originations, we won't attach to either existence or non-existence. This is in the previous lesson. So the middle way is true just without deviation and detached from the two extreme of the deviate views. And next we'll go is those who truly contemplate worldly accumulation will not have the worldly view of non-existence. Those who truly contemplate worldly extinction will not have the worldly view of existence. So just try to recall, we use an analogy that one river can wash one lake only. Then again, in sum, everything originates dependently. There's no real self or real thing, so the view of the existence does not arise. I forgot to share screen. Why no people remind me? Okay, I realized well, I finished already. Now we go to the right understanding of the Four Noble Truths. Okay, so Mr. Leong, before you are frozen, please read the verse. Please read the verses number 97.
Right understanding of the Four Noble Truths, verse 97. Right understanding also means insight into the Four Truths. Knowing the Four Noble Truths are as they are, one should severe accumulation and practice the way, and should realize the extinction of the pain of confusion. For from extinction, one realizes nirvana. The essentials of the world transcending way of liberation are dependent origination and the doctrine of the Four Truths. In addition to the 8 understanding of dependently originated accumulation and extinction, the sutras emphasize a right understanding of the Four Truths. A true understanding of the dharma of independent origination, of transmigration and extinction relies upon causes that arise and become extinct. But this is not a hollow contemplation of cause and effect, or of existence and emptiness. That is, rather an understanding of conditioned existence. Ignorance causes action, and so forth, and of conditioned non-existence. The extinction of ignorance leads to the extinction of action, and so on. From the standpoint of the middle way and the contemplation of the illusionary and conventional nature of dependent origination, one should truly realize the certainty of the mutual dependence of cause and effect and enter the holy state of leaving confusion behind in realizing the truth.
Okay, thank you so much. We digest this paragraph for a second. Anything, Sally? You want to say something? On the mic, please, Sally. Yes, anything?
I said make it bigger.
I'll make it bigger. Okay. Yeah. Okay, bigger like this, huh?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. You have to express yourself verbally. Yes, to new sign language. I don't even understand. Okay. Okay, class. Basically, no much facts in the paragraphs. In this paragraph, not many things lah. The way we see is it's just introductionally. Okay, for this paragraph, we talk about that lah. By knowing the four. Okay, right understanding also means what? Means also insight into the four truth. Knowing the four noble truth as they are. Okay, so class. Please bear in mind. Three vehicles, mostly the references are coded from the Nikaya, Samyutta Nikaya, or from all the from the Samyutta Agama or the Nikaya. Basically, these four noble truths, Theravadan Buddhism, they prefer use it, okay, to describe their meditation method. So once you talk about the four noble truths, basically they will use it to reflect how they do the Vipassana and also the Samatha. Okay, so no much thing here. All right. So let's take a look. Once we talk about dependent originations, okay, but there's not a hollow contemplation of cause and effect or of existence and emptiness only. Okay, so this is also an understanding of conditional existence. All right. And from the dependent origination, we understand that the extinction of ignorance leads to the extinction of the action. So let me try to recall you all regarding this. Let's take a look. So until now, class, you must be able to memorize this to make you more easy to understand the whole thing, you see. So this is the past causes. Once the ignorance eradicated, then the rest will keep on disappear, okay, by itself. All right. Now we go to the next paragraph. Okay. So Sally, please. Okay, the four truths.
The four truths are yeah. The four truths are also concerned with cause and effect. Suffering comes from accumulation. Realization of extinction relies on the ways. These are the two ways of the worldly and world transcending causes and effects. The object of investigation is still the real human life of suffering. From contemplating suffering, such as that of old age and death, and accumulation, desire, clinging, and so forth, as its cause, one realizes the truth of extinction. When accumulation is extinct, so is suffering. For example, If one sees that when ignorance is extinct and so forth, age and death are also extinct. But how can one eliminate accumulation and realize extinction? By practicing the way. The way is the condition for realizing extinction and also a means to eliminate the accumulation of suffering. Knowing the four truths and knowing dependent origination are interrelated. The 12 links of independent origination can be used to contemplate the four truths, for example, ignorance, the accumulation of ignorance, the extinction of ignorance, and the way to the extinction of ignorance. These contemplations are described in the sutras as the 44 wisdoms.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so we stop here first. Let us try to digest. Okay, finish class, Mr. Leong. Okay, class, for this paragraph, the author tried to bring us attention that the relationship between the 12 condition and also the Four Noble Truth. Okay, basically, there is some cause and effect in the Four Noble Truth. For example, number one is the suffering and the cause of the suffering. So this is the cause and effect. The cause is the ignorance and also attachment is the cause, and the effect will be the suffering, which is the five aggregates. Okay, so this we call it as a mandate cause and effect. Then there's a supra-mandate cause and effect. Okay, Four Noble Truth, the third and number four, one is a cessation, which is Nibbana, and the last one will be the way to the Nibbana. Okay.
Sifu, I cannot see you.
Oh, you cannot see me, huh? Yeah, your line is quite bad, Mr. Leong. Yeah, can Elena and Sadie see me? Okay. Yeah. Mr. Leong, your line is not that good. Never mind. As long as you can hear me, that will be fine, huh? The line will be getting strong later, huh? You are frozen most of the time, huh? For today, huh? Okay. So let me just keep on. As long as you hear my sound, they will be fine, huh? Okay, so I mean, for the last one is once we talk about cessation and the way lead to the cessation.
Okay, thank you.
That is we call it as a supramandate cause and effect. Why? Because the way leading to the cessation, that will be the cause, and the cessation will be the effect. So meaning to say, for the Four Noble Truths, there's a cause effect. The previous two is a mandate cause and effect, and the last two will be the supramandate cause and effect. So class, do you get it? This is how, I mean, these texts are trying to relate to us, okay? Okay, once we understand this according, in previous lesson, we also mentioned that from avijja, then there's a form. Let's take a look. I remember I asked the question regarding the cause and effect here. So ignorance is the cause, mental formation is the effect, mental formation is the cause, and the consciousness will be the effect, and it's so on. Okay, so I think you have done the calculation before, but here there's one sutra which is quite famous. It's about the 44 knowledge. Let's take a look. 44 wisdom, 48. Please check for me what is the reference for this. Yeah, 48.
Yuta Agama 14.
SA.
SA, Samyutta Agama. Okay, a class. This is the very famous Agama. You please check it down. Okay? If it is possible, you can cross-reference. You can check the reference to the Nikaya in English version. See whether are you able to go through it or not. Okay, according to the recent Japanese scholar, they are able to do the comparison between the Samyutta Nikaya, Samyutta and also the Nikaya. And they notice that for the Samyutta Nikaya and the Agama, the similarities is about 90%, very high. Sometimes, if let's say the Chinese text is too difficult for me, I prefer go through the Nikaya, which is in the English text. English is more simple and direct. Okay, maybe let me try, see whether I can give you some clue or not, class. So, for example, okay, just now a class, you mentioned is SA what class?
SA 15.
SA 15, okay.
In 1-4.
Samyutta, okay. Samyutta, SA,
SA 15.
SA 14.
40, okay. Yeah.
No, 49 ma. 48.
1-4.
Sorry, 48. 14. 14.
1-4, okay. 1-4, okay. So we try to see, this is the Agama from the Mahayana. We try to check whether what is the equivalent Nikaya is what? Samyutta Nikaya. Nikaya. So Agama 14. Okay, can see whether can we get or not. Okay, yeah, Samyutta, the group discusses Samyutta Nikaya. Okay, let me try to see first. Yeah, this finding is by the Japan. Maybe let me try to get. Samyutta. Let's take a look, see whether they get or not. The group discusses Samyutta Nikaya. Samyutta Nikaya. No, Samyutta. Samyutta. Agama. No, we can't get it. Okay, never mind. Okay, so class, you please just jot down that Samyutta is equivalent to Agama. Now, most of our reference is referred to the Agama. The author translate to the English. The translator translate the Agama in English. But basically, we can check. There will be equivalent version of the Kaya in Theravada. So you just know this. Let's see. Okay, PDF coders. Yeah, okay, never mind. I don't waste time here. So let's take a look. So this is number 44. Wisdom is very famous. Okay. Now we go through the next. Okay. So Elena, please read it out. Okay.
The right understanding of dependent origination is therefore also the wisdom that comes from knowing the four truths. They differ in that dependent origination emphasizes vertical connections, and the four truths emphasize horizontal classifications. When the Buddha first turned the view of the Dharma in Deer Park for the 5 bhikkhus, he taught the doctrine of the four truths, also called the Dharma wheel of 3 turnings and 12 processes, which clearly illustrated in depth the sequence of the four truths. At that time, the Buddha first pointed out the nature of suffering, accumulation, extinction, and the way. This should be clearly differentiated with detailed instruction. It is not only necessary to know what suffering is and what the causes for the accumulation of suffering are, one must also know that suffering necessarily comes from accumulation, that with accumulation there must be suffering. It is also necessary to know that suffering is real, and it is certain that there will be suffering. The first turning of the Dharma wheel, with its 4 processes that are disciplinary application of the turning, enable this bhikkhu to understand and firmly believe.
Okay, thank you so much. So after reading, please off the mic, okay, to avoid the disturbance. And Mr. Long, they have gone to Nibbana already due to the wake of the Wi-Fi, okay? Yeah, Mr. Long, welcome back, okay. Okay, finish, class. Okay, well, there's a one fact here you need to crash your head a little bit. Class, take a look. Dependent origination emphasizes the vertical. Four Noble Truths emphasize horizontal. Why dependent origination is vertical? And why Four Noble Truths is horizontal? How do you explain that? How do you understand that? Horizontal, vertical? Why Mr. Leong laugh awkwardly?
Because depending orientation vertically is rocket science.
Rocket science. No. Okay, so class, I think maybe Mr. Leong also have some clues in your answer. You hint some clues. Let's take a look. What's the difference between the dependent origination and the Four Noble Truths? The way we said it, you see, basically why we will demonstrate, we will try to present the dependent origination in circle, right? Why in circle?
Yeah.
But Four Noble
Samsara.
Truths, why?
Circle of samsara.
Not really. You almost touched the fact. But Four Noble Truths are also about samsara. But basically, we will just present it in the vertical form. How come one is in the circle, but one is without circle?
One has got an ending, one does not have an ending.
Yeah. It's about, I think the answer is about stay already. One is relate to time. You remember, independent origination, we talk about there will be the past life, present life, and the future life. Past life, present, future life, even though there's only three life, but this three life is already enough to demonstrate the illimitable for the past life and illimitable of the future life. It is correct. So that's the reason why we use a word, call it as, see, we use it as a vertical. The reason is, okay, the dependent origination is vertical. The reason is it involves time elements. Let's take a look. You see, past, present, and the future. It means, okay, it depicts the causes here, but also it's the life at the same time. Okay, how? Then let's take a look. And the horizontal, because for Four Noble Truths, we don't see any time elements inside. So it is a horizontal. This is how we try to explain this. And next, let's take a look. Okay, when the Buddha first turned, after Buddha's parinibbana, okay, he refused to give the sermon because he understands that Paticca is so profound. I mean, the Brahma, using psychic, knowing how the Buddha thought, so he is so sympathy, okay, to all the living beings. So he come down and invite the Buddha to give the sermon. Okay, so finally, Buddha give to the sermon. So the first Buddha met are five bhikkhu. Five bhikkhu previously practice existing practice together with him. But finally, because they noticed that Shakyamuni start eating, okay, so they feel disappointed and leave Shakyamuni. But once Shakyamuni enlightened and come forward to see them, they realize that our Prince Siddhartha is quite different already. Even though he eat, but he show shining, and also he show a very profound wisdom. So finally, they are the first one who given he turned the Dharma wheel, and they are firstly targeted about the Four Noble Truths. But class, remember how if according to the sutra, the Four Noble Truths is so simple only, and then they attain the Nibbana already. Okay, how? So since the Nikaya thing is so simple, it's about the three turn of the 12th wheel. It's very simple. They just say, okay, this is the cause of the suffering. It's real. You have to understand, and then all this only so simple. Okay, so that is where the controversy arises. In Theravada, if you are more on canonical orientation, inclination, you will say that yes, the Dharma is so simple. It is already enough to make them enlightened. Okay. But if let's say you are more on Abhidhamma, okay, like Myanmar, they will say that, oh, the text is too simple. But actually, there's a lot of contents has been summarized. Okay, they basically they have to eliminate a lot of contents so that it could be memorized at that particular time. You see. So class, take a look. That is the which is so famous here. It's the three turning and the 12 processes. All is about the four truths. So let me show you the three turning and the 12 process. Three turning. Yeah, three turning of the wheel. three turning, not the same, and the 12 process. Yeah, three turning of the wheel of Dharma. This is quite famous. Let's take a look. Okay, so sarana is the deer part. Okay, it's about the Four Noble Truths. So this is the first turning. Well, this is not something we want. Let me see first. Okay, I think it's not this fourth turning, fifth turning. Tian Tai. No, not this. I want the Theravada one. Three turning. This is so famous, the three turning. Not this. Sorry, let me try it. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, class, take a look. Okay, so this is the three turning. Okay, the Buddha turned three times the Dharma wheel of the Four Noble Truths. Three times. For the first time, Buddha said that this is suffering. This is accumulations of the affliction. This is the cessation of the suffering, and this is the path. Okay. Then during the second turning for persuasion, second time is for the persuasion. He advised that this is the suffering you should know. Okay. This is the accumulation of affliction you should destroy. This is the cessation of suffering you should achieve. This is the path you should take. The third turning for confirmation, he testified that this is the suffering. Okay, this is the suffering I have known. This is the accumulation of affliction I destroy. This is the cessation of the suffering I have achieved. This is the path I've completed. So that is the three turning point, which is very famous. I mean, for the sarana. Okay, so this is the one. This is the number one, the first turning. Okay, then this is the third turning. Okay, how should we digest it? Class, regarding the first turning, is about the review. So Buddha review is a revelations. Okay, the second is the persuasions. You try to persuade people. Is in the second. The third is try to confirm it. So class, maybe you just copy down, okay, review, persuasion, and confirmation. Okay, first, second, third turning, that will be fine already. Then you can Google it easily. So class, please copy down. So Buddha had to review in the first place. After you review it, you have to pursue to the people. After pursue people, you have to confirm again. Okay, class finished. Okay, right, thanks. So after we get this, we go to the next paragraph. Okay, okay, whose turn? Mr. Leong, try to read now. Oh, he's frozen again. So I go back to Sally. The Buddha further. Okay. Mr. Leong, since your line is so weak, Mr. Leong, preferably you off your camera. Once you off your camera, as long as you're able to see us and hear us, will be good already. Off the camera will be more conducive to you, Mr. Leong. Okay, off the camera. Yeah,
It's
Sally.
okay. It's okay.
Okay,
I follow your voice.
I'll follow more voice. Yes. Okay. Yeah, Miss Sally, please.
The Buddha further said that suffering should be known. It should be profoundly understood and recognized, because only if one profoundly understands that the world is by nature oppressive will one wish to renounce the world and seek liberation. Accumulation should be severed. If it is not, it will endanger and engender suffering, and one will be unable to leave birth and death. Extinction should be realized. This alone is liberation. The way should be practiced, for without such practice, one cannot put a stop to accumulation and realize the truth of extinction. This was the second turning of the wheel, which urged the people to know suffering, severe accumulation, realize extinction, and practice the way, thereby moving from knowledge to action and from action to realization. After that, the Buddha explained to his disciples his own experience. I've completely understood suffering, severed accumulation, realized extinction, and accomplished the way. In other words, from knowing, severing, realizing, and practicing the fourth truth, I have accomplished the great event of becoming liberated from birth and death and realized nirvana. Why do you not follow me and practice to accomplish this too? This is the third turning, in which the Buddha used his own personal experience as proof to strengthen his disciples' determination to believe, understand, and practice. The doctrine of the four truths are taught by Buddha does not exceed this Dharma wheel of the three turnings and 12 processes. When, when disciples practice the doctrine of four truths, they should first really know what the truths are. From them, from their causal interrelationship with, from their certainty, the reality of suffering, and from contemplating the dependently originating accumulation and extinction, one will know the impermanent transmigration and extinction that are without self. And from this knowledge, one will realize the profound truth. If one can understand them in this way, as they really are, one will know the accumulation must be severe, and that the way must be practiced, and that the extinction of suffering uh, born of confusion must be realized. Following right knowledge and understanding with right action, one will eventually reach the stage of beyond learning, which means one has already understood, already severed accumulation, already extinguished confusion and suffering, and already practiced the way. Due to the extinction of suffering and accumulation, one attains nirvana.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, Mr. Leong, finish. Okay, they're frozen again. Okay, class. Just now what we copied down is exactly the same only. Meaning to say, for the Four Noble Truths in the beginning, Shakyamuni had to reveal it. Because through the revelation, we know that, oh, there's a suffering, there's a cause of suffering, there's a cessation of suffering, there's the way leading to the suffering. We have to let us know first. Okay, so I know all got these four types of things first. So by knowing these four things already, then secondly, you have to persuade us, yeah, you should go to do it. You understand already. There's all this element, you know it already. So please try to do. Why I want to ask you to try, how am I going to persuade you is through my experience. I already confirmed. Yeah, there is a suffering. The suffering is the five aggregate. Okay, this itself is keep on changing. Okay, and through my experience, according to Buddha said, through my experience, this is due to the avijja and also the attachment. All right, and then by Eight Noble Path, we can realize the nibbana. So that is the confirmation, and this is how Shakyamuni to convince to the people. So this is the most famous three-wheel three turning 12 wheels. That is the one. Okay, okay, class. Basically, do you feel anything once you heard about this three turning, three turn and 12 wheel? Do you have anything special? Yeah, because five bhikkhu, once they heard about this, immediately they got enlightened and liberated already. But don't know why, from your all face expression, it showed that it's nothing. It seems you learn the dharma, too many dharma you learn until you feel nothing already. See or not? Because I don't know, maybe at that time it's so difficult to get the information. You see, once they heard about this, wow, this is so precious. For us, we are over information already. So we feel nothing already. Everything you heard, everything you have heard about. Yeah, very funny. Let's see how. So class, let's take a look. Okay, okay, but one thing is, are you really until now? Are you truly believe the Four Noble Truths? First, there is a suffering. This is the five aggregate. The five aggregate is subject, is always keep on changing. Do you believe it? Yes or no? Yes or no? Second is due to the avijja, ignorance and attachment. Do you believe that? Yes. Okay, the third one, okay, there's a nibbana. Do you believe that?
Haven't reached the station.
Why do you try to answer? I'm not daring to say I don't believe. Okay, number four, the Eight Noble Path is the way leading for the cessation. Do you believe that? On the mic, yes. Illinois on the mic, yes. Do you believe that? don't know how to answer me.
Really don't know how to answer.
You're not daring say no, huh? But you can't say yes, because it disobey from the bottom of your heart. Huh? But you're not daring say no, you see, you're not daring say so. Yeah, Mr. Leung, want to say something? Yes.
No, I think the Noble Eightfold Path is a way to liberation.
You're quite confirmed, right?
Because of the three teachings of morality, concentration, and wisdom.
So
Which wisdom?
So meaning to say that you have been successfully pursued by Shakyamuni, right?
Right.
Yes, sir. Then the rest of them, they're still in hesitation, okay? So just give you more time for hesitating, for deliberations. Okay. Okay, so that is, okay, well, this is the good question. Since you can't answer yes in the confirmed way, so please give yourself own time. I hope one day, okay, you have to jot down the date. Okay, regards this, you have to jot down the date. Maybe after a certain time you go back, you have to think back. Am I convinced already for this three turning of a 12 three turning of the 12th wheel? You have to rethink it again, so that you are not wasting time here. Correct? Not if you have finally you don't believe what for, you better just watch the drama, Korean drama series, even better. Okay, so now next I'll say, okay, well, according to this, the doctrine is taught by the Shakyamuni doesn't exist all this. It's all regarding the three turning and the 12 process, especially for the scope. For the scope in Theravada, in Mahayana, the scope will be more than that. But it seems the scope doesn't exist. This three turning and 12 processes. So people sometimes also get boring. Every day you come to the temple, the Pandey will say, this is suffering. Tomorrow, suffering again. And this is avijja. And the fourth is the Four Noble Truth. It's the Paticca Samuppada. Oh, you get boring already. Every day is the same thing only. Is this correct? Okay. So, but basically, it should be more than that. It could be more than that. So that the devotee wouldn't be over boring over this. You see, if one can understand them in this way, as they really are, one will know that accumulation must be severe, and the way must be practiced, and the extinction of suffering born of confusion must be realized. You see, if you truly believe, you will really do this. This is what the Theravadin they do. Actually, the perception, the principle is quite similar with the Western Pure Land. Basically, for those who practice the Western Pure Land, it's so simple. Xing Yuan Xin, belief, vow, and practice for them. As long as you believe, you start to chant the Amitabha, okay? You make a vow for being there, then finally you just keep on to do the chanting and do hold all the precept. That's all. You see, it's quite similar with me. You have to believe in the first place. But basically, I think we all do believe, because you see, now you are listening to the Dharma. If you don't believe, you have already dropped off already, but you're still here, you see. Secondly, you observe the precept, right? I think you are observing, okay, then you do the meditation every day, you see. So you are observing. And now the sutta study, okay, what are we studying now is considered the panya, the wisdom. So you are doing the eightfold path. You are doing it. But just maybe no people ask you to confirm. You are not daring to say, yes, I'm doing this. You are not daring as Mr. Leung. I think Mr. Leung are influenced by the Theravadin culture, because Theravadin culture always emphasize this type of thing. Is this correct, Mr. Leung?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, you see,
correct.
He got the influence. So, Mr. Leung, next time got opportunity, you bring both of them to Theravadin for brainwashing. Okay. Watch them, and they will be very confirmed for the this three turning and the 12th wheel. You should be confirmed actually. Yeah. Okay. Then here's see all just the same thing only. So this is how a very devoted or a Theravadin devotee for being educated. So as for knowing how, so Elena, please go through as for knowing how.
As for knowing and understanding the four truths as they really are, this raises questions about attaining the way and seeing the truth. What does a person need to see in the four truths to attain realization? Because of the differences in fundamental natures and in methods of practice, students of Buddhism are divided into two schools, the school of gradual understanding and that of sudden understanding. The practice of the school of gradual understanding entails contemplating the four truths and the 16 processes, relying on the 16, sometimes described as 5, minds to see the way. Such was the view held by the Northwest Indian school of thought. The South Central Indian school of thought held the view of sudden understanding. That is, they understood the truth of extinction in order to attain the way. This is, of course, an ancient argument which has lasted for hundreds and thousands of years. It is therefore difficult to make definite judgment about which is better. If one relies on the present teachings and views the origin of the Buddha Dharma as being one, it would seem that reaching an understanding of the four truths should happen gradually and sequentially. But this view is not at odds with the realization of the extinct nature of dependent origination, that is, attaining the way by understanding the truth of extinction. The sutras say that without the intuitive experience of the first three truths, one cannot have the insight of the truth of the way, and that the four truths are to be entered gradually, just as one would climb a stairway. All these points convincingly favor gradual understanding and gradual realization.
Okay, thank you so much, okay, Elena. Okay, class, please go to check for me. I want, please check for me this reference. Oh yeah, this number 49, please.
SA 15.
SA 15.
SS 15, huh? Okay, class, this will be the homework for you all, huh? So it's time for you to start to go through to the original text, okay, huh? So after the class, all right, it's up to you also. If you feel okay, nothing to do, please go through this original text. It's one of your homework, okay, huh? So no need to do the recapitulations, okay, huh? Yeah, Mr. Leong playing the piano again, okay.
Sifu, what you mean is right?
What again? Yes.
No, I mean we go and search this SA for SA 15 for own knowledge.
Yes, for own knowledge, yes. Okay, huh? Yeah, because
Thank you.
Elena and Sally, they are quite rarely go through the original text. It is time for them to go through it. Okay, huh?
Okay.
Elena, you read until here. Am I right?
And another additional paragraph.
Elena, you read until here just now, right? Correct. Okay, correct. Correct. Okay, so class, let me try to do a little bit explanation, huh? But before this, we have to go through one thing first. Okay. Okay, class, take a look. You saw a map, right? The map, Jammu and Kashmir is the northeast part of the Indian, all right, in ancient Indian, all right. So there's a one school we call it as a Sarvastivadin, okay. Then there's a one school is in the middle south here, okay, middle south here. I think middle south is other school. I'm not sure the name of the school, okay. Well, according to the Sarvastivadin class, let me try to remind you regards the school of thought. School of Buddhism. Okay, notice. School of Buddhism. Yes, this is. Let's take a look. This is the most simple one. Okay, after the first council, all right, the Buddhism separate. One is a Theravada, one is a Mahasamgika, all right. Then from here, it separates to the Mahasamgika and Sarvastivadin, Mahasamgika and Sarvastivadin and Sarvastivada here. That's what we see. Okay, so Sarvastivadin, after the first council, they all moved to the northeast of Indian, which is in the Kashmir there. Okay. So why we have to talk about this? The reason is when we talk about the Four Noble Truths, there's one controversy issue arise regarding shall it be sudden enlightenment or graduate enlightenment. Meaning to say that you should enlighten the Four Noble Truths in a certain, in one glimpse, you understand all, or you gradually understand each other. Well, this is the controversy issue, not necessary to go deep, okay? But I will try to roughly explain. So after the explanation, you just forget about it, okay? Very nonsense, right? Our math teacher used to tell us, talk about this because he tried to demonstrate how the formula come. So after that, he said, so please forget about this because in exam, it will ask you in this way. Yes, same. In exam, no people will ask you why this thing come, but we try to tell you. Okay, according to why there's one school in the south, in the northeast part of India, and one is the middle south part. They have a different way of the experience. Okay. Okay. Why the controversy arise is due to the different experience. But basically, both are correct also. Class, take a look. If let's say you are able to, in one glimpse to understand the Four Noble Truths, but basically you have to begin from graduate. Am I right? There must be some accumulation in the beginning, like try to shoot the ball in the football field. So before the ball go, you have to you have to carry the ball from the very beginning, go to the go to the enemy part, right? Then you go to shoot it. So meaning to say that by shooting the ball into the goal, it's just like the certain the certain enlightenment for the Four Noble Truths. But please don't be naive that it won't certain enlighten without the effort from the very beginning. So you get it? Is this correct? It's more logic, right?
Yeah, very logic.
There must be some effort in the beginning before you reach and suddenly you go the ball. It's impossible. You can go up from that opposite side to this side. It is quite impossible. So there's a controversy issue. I think maybe the controversy issue is due to the different experience and due to maybe different interpretation. But finally, actually, if without a graduate, there wouldn't be subtle enlightenment, and the subtle enlightenment need the graduate enlightenment as a preliminary step, and the subtle enlightenment will become the outcome for the graduate enlightenment, for the graduate enlightenment. So class agree? So this is how we try to settle the ancient argument. Class, you see, this argument have been carried forward for 1,000 years, and they turn themselves become enemy, you say you agree certain enlightenment, but we disagree. So it really become controversy issue already. Okay. So class, always remember for Savastivadin, now what we see here is the Tauya Timsa. It's also from the Theravada school also. I remember I give you one chart. So class, do you remember Vaibhasika? This is not that complete. School of thought. Let me see. It's the same only. So this is a Theravada Buddhism only. Yeah. This is better, I think. Class, take a look. Oh, not that good. This one also. Okay, never mind. So class,